Welcome to Top 30. I'm Kristen Smith.
And I'm Richard Bacon, and here are your top 30 stories in 30 minutes.
A new study published in British Medical Journal supports research that the man flu is real because men have weaker immune systems. The Oxford Dictionary defines man flu as a cold or similar minor ailment as experienced by a man who is regarded as exaggerating the severity of the symptoms. Dr. Kyle Sue, a Canadian physician who conducted the new study, says, "I do think that the research does point towards men having a weaker immune response when it comes to common viral respiratory infections and the flu." He used a 2013 study out of Stanford University as a platform for his research, which found that men's immune systems are weaker because they have higher levels of testosterone. Sue says that data collected supports this theory because men have worse symptoms, their illnesses last longer, and men are more likely to be hospitalized or die from the flu. He also pointed out from an evolutionary standpoint, having higher testosterone may have offered men advantages when it came to fighting, but it kept them safe from predators too, because once they're sick, they're bedbound. So maybe go easy on your guy when he's under the weather. It's not his fault you're biologically superior. San Francisco Mayor Ed Lee died Tuesday at the age of 65. A former civil rights attorney, Lee became the city's first Asian American mayor in 2011. The husband and father of two reportedly suffered a heart attack while grocery shopping. Merriam-Webster has announced their word of the year, feminism. Dictionary editors said it was a top lookup throughout the year, particularly during the Women's March in January, and again in recent months as a never-ending stream of public figures are accused of sexual misconduct. And congratulations to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. His girlfriend is pregnant with their second child. The Rock spilled the news on his Instagram account with this adorable picture of his daughter, Jasmine Leah. Just imagine, one day someone's gonna try and date one of The Rock's little girls. Now, that's terrifying.
Chef Mario Batali has responded to allegations of sexual harassment. At least 4 women told the restaurant news site Aetna that Batali touched them inappropriately. 3 of the women are former employees who say Batali groped them while they worked in his restaurants. Another says he groped her when they met at a party. A 5th woman, the actress Siobhan Thompson, has since told media outlets Batali groped her while she worked as a hostess at one of his restaurants. The reaction has been swift. ABC asked Batali to step away from The Chew, the daytime show he co-hosts. The Food Network will no longer air Molto Mario, the show that helped make him a star. Batali's business empire reportedly brings in about $250 million a year. In a statement, Batali said, "I apologize to the people I have mistreated and hurt. That behavior was wrong, and there are no excuses." Batali's company says it will hire an outside investigator. Aetna says their investigation isn't finished. Let's go to the New York Stock Exchange for our Fox Business Minute with your friend and mine, Nicole Pedalides. Nicole, I'm hearing that Google has just launched some new innovative apps.
That's right, Richard. Well, Google announced 3 new photography apps, part of the company's Experiments program. It's just launched. The name of each app refers to its primary function: Storyboard, Selfiissimo, and Scrubbies. Well, Facebook is testing private comments that apply to individual posts. Here's how it works. Users click on the padlock icon, which will bring up the security settings, and choose who can see the comment. The feature is being tested by a handful of users, but if it rolls out, it will hopefully stop all those fights on the network that we've all witnessed. Do you feel strapped for cash? Don't worry. There's a chance your parents will help. Nearly 75% of parents help their adult children financially. That's according to a new study.
Nicole, what's the cause of this? Is it debt or is it basic necessities?
Well, both, Richard. The study found that parents are helping their children out with day-to-day costs, such as cell phone bills, transportation. On the debt side, it's unavoidable expenses, such as student loans. Get this, the latest figures show that Americans owe over $1.45 trillion in student loan debt. More Top 30 when we return.
NFL fans on the go will soon be able to watch games on their mobile phone. Verizon just signed an extension with the league with a huge change in the agreement. The mobile company can now stream in-market and nationally televised games through 3 apps: NFL Mobile, Yahoo Sports, and Verizon's Go 90. That means people with any carrier can watch the games live. In previous years, only Verizon customers had access to the live games on their devices. ESPN is reporting Verizon paid about $2.5 billion for the 5-year deal. It goes into effect next month, just in time for the playoffs. Kristen, I hear you're talking about Bitcoin.
That's right, Richard. If you've heard all the buzz, it's not just talk. The Wall Street Journal cites Bitcoin as the best performing asset in financial markets of 2017. In case you don't know what it is, Bitcoin is a digital currency that can be used for purchases without an intermediary or bank. And with CoinDesk reporting the price of the virtual currency surpassing $17,000 last week from just under $970 at the start of the year, stock market newbies have been motivated to invest in Bitcoin. But before you invest your savings, it's important to do your homework. Jay Clayton, head of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, issued a stern statement warning investors of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency. I encourage Main Street investors to be open to these opportunities, but to ask good questions, demand clear answers, and apply good common sense when doing so. And remember, with any chance of a high return, there could also be a far fall.
A 15-year-old girl was denied by her insurance company for brain surgery. Her doctors think the minimally invasive procedure could have ended seizures she's been suffering with since the age of 9. Cara Pressman had the laser ablation surgery scheduled for late October, but had to cancel when her parents received a rejection letter from the insurance company Aetna. When my parents told me, I went kind of blank and started crying, she said. I cried for like an hour. Aetna did approve a more invasive and expensive open brain surgery for Cara, but her medical team never even sought approval for it. It's now been 6 weeks since the denial, and Cara's already suffered more than 25 seizures. Her message to Aetna, she says, considering they're denying me getting surgery and stopping this thing that's wrong with my brain, I would probably just say, screw you. In the rejection letter, Aetna said the effectiveness of the experimental surgery had not been established, and thus they couldn't justify covering it. But Dr. Jamie Van Gompel, a neurosurgeon at the Mayo Clinic, told CNN it's not experimental at all, noting that it's FDA approved and thousands of patients have been treated with it. According to CNN, they reached out to Aetna for further explanation, and they say they're standing by their rejection.
A new age Santa is being told to tone it down in the Philadelphia area. Mike Jarek from Fox 29 in Philly joins us with more.
Hey, thanks, Kristen. Yeah, here in the Philly area at a mall just outside of the city, there's a Santa who does things a little bit differently. Like he'll pose with pictures with the kids, the kid upside down hanging, you know, from Santa's hands. But if you check out his arms, look at that. On one arm it says naughty, that's a tattoo. The other arm has a tattoo that says nice. Like I said, it's very different. Some parents are not fans.
That might be a little rough on some of the kids. I don't know that I necessarily would appreciate it.
Naughty and nice tattoos, yeah. Yeah, let's be kid friendly.
Well, the company that owns the mall has asked him to be a more traditional Santa, Kristen.
So how did Santa take the news?
Well, he's agreed to tone it down a little bit, cover the tattoos, but he still wants to get on the floor and talk to the kids because he wants that special connection that only he can provide, he says.
With its latest launch, SpaceX is set to make history. This week, the aerospace company owned by Tesla founder Elon Musk will launch its 17th mission with thousands of pounds of supplies headed to the International Space Station. The company will use one of its Falcon 9 rockets and a Dragon spacecraft. The reason the flight will be historic is that both vessels are, in the company's language, pre-flown, which in layman's terms means used. It's a first in the history of spaceflight. Experts say if the mission goes well, it could help lower the cost of going to space. Musk claims his reusable rockets save about $300 million versus conventional launchers. It's also the first time the launch pad had been used since a SpaceX craft exploded there last year. They've since repaired it with upgrades that can support about one launch a week. With NASA no longer funding its own launchers, SpaceX could be reusing its own spacecraft more frequently in the future. The US economy has just posted another strong jobs report, but it's another story for those over 55. America added 228,000 jobs in the month of November, but there are about 1.2 million people over 55 looking for work. 33% of them are long-term unemployed, according to AARP. They spend 7 to 9 months on average looking for work. Economists say the longer a candidate spends looking for a job, the harder it is to actually get one. The rate at which they find jobs drops by about half by their 8th month of unemployment. Experts say that unemployed job seekers over 50 should fill work gaps by volunteering, doing project work, or taking a class. Those activities can go on resumes to make them more attractive to recruiters. They can also help in an interview when they're asked what they have been doing.
In today's hometown stories from Fox 13 Tampa Bay, making friends as an adult can be difficult, but for those with autism, it can feel nearly impossible, which is why Robin Lally started the website Hug, Help Us Gather. The idea was born after seeing her brother Rick struggle to find a social life after he moved. The website helps people with disabilities find activities and events sensitive to their needs. Finally, screen time that's good for you. Our next story from Fox 9 Minneapolis. When 33-year-old construction worker Jason Harabi got exhausted after climbing a ladder, he knew something was wrong. Several tests later, Jason discovered he has a rare disorder called PNH, which is destroying his blood cells. A costly medication has kept him alive, but his best chance at a cure is to reboot his bone marrow. And thanks to the organization Be the Match, a donor was found.
My husband has a chance, and we're so thankful.
For our final story from Fox 29 Philadelphia, Donna Alley started cleaning homes when she couldn't find a job. Today, her company, Team Clean, has 1,000 employees and contracts throughout the city.
Long ago, someone gave me a chance, gave me an opportunity to succeed, and I believe in paying it forward.
In Philly, about 50,000 people a year return to civilian life after prison. And Team Clean is one of the growing number of companies giving ex-offenders a second chance, because everyone deserves the opportunity to prove themselves, especially during the holidays.
New doomsday shelters that make up the largest private bunker community on Earth are on sale. The project is called Vivos XPoints. The company overseeing the community says there are 575 bunkers that can each withstand a 500,000-pound blast. The bunkers are located in South Dakota and cost about $25,000 each, and that includes running water, but you don't get electricity or air filtration. The space is about 26 feet wide and varies from 60 to 80 feet in length. The bunkers were originally built by the Army Corps of Engineers and house explosives. You might think they would only be used during a nuclear attack or world emergency, but one rendering on the company's website has a bunker complete with a pool table, leather couch, hardwood floors, and LED screens. They are perfect for all those private citizens who've made enemies capable of targeting them with a 500,000-pound blast.
New Year's is right around the corner, and how many people are going to make the resolution to lose weight only to cancel that new gym membership by February? Well, if you need some inspiration, check out what Lexi and Danny Reed looked like on their wedding day, and look at them now. They say it all started with a New Year's resolution at the start of 2016. Since then, the two have lost a combined 400 pounds. The couple said they were fed up with the life they were living, so they drastically changed their diet and started going to the gym. Lexi herself has gone from 485 pounds to 180 pounds, and her Instagram pictures show just how dramatic her transformation is. The account is appropriately called Fat Girl Fed Up, and the inspirational feed now has almost 500,000 followers. So it looks like sticking to those New Year's resolutions can pay off. When the elderly can't take care of themselves anymore, what happens to their pets? That's where Elder Dog Canada steps in, a nonprofit that helps to find foster homes or new owners for dogs whose owners have fallen ill or passed away. Del Rackett founded the Edmonton chapter in March and said there is a huge demand for it, but so far every dog that's come in, we've been able to find them a home or a foster. We get a dog that needs to be rehomed, and we've got an adoption the next day. Along with Edmonton, there are several other chapters across the Maritimes Maritimes, Ontario, and Quebec. Volunteers help with everything from grooming and dog walking to veterinary care and the adoption process if needed. If you would like to donate your time, check out their Facebook page at ElderDog. Studies show that people who wear fitness trackers to monitor their physical activity can also use it to motivate them to increase that activity, which is why we've got today's top 30 deal, the RBX Active Bluetooth Activity Tracker at a special 66% discount. The activity tracker is an accurate pedometer that allows you to track steps, calories burned, and distance traveled. But that's not all. It even works when you're not, because it monitors sleep. The RBX Activity Tracker pairs with a free, simple-to-use smartphone app using Bluetooth technology to help you set goals from the data collected, so you can see your fitness growth over time. It comes in 4 colors, including geoprint, red, black, and white, blue speckle print, and blue marble print. The RBX Active Bluetooth Activity Tracker set retails for as much as $90, but today you can buy it for just 31 bucks. That's about a 66% discount, and you can get this right now at top30deals.com while they last.
Reviews can be super helpful when trying to choose a new restaurant, but what if the restaurant doesn't even exist? The Shed at Dulwich in London garnered rave reviews on TripAdvisor, and the owner, Uber Butler, says he had people trying to blackmail him for a table and TV execs calling for reservations. But it was all just an elaborate hoax that Butler created, quite literally, using his shed. He built a website for the fake restaurant and got everyone he knows to write a 5-star review on TripAdvisor, gushing over the food and cozy atmosphere, and of course noting how hard it was to get a table. Soon the burner phone he designated for the restaurant was ringing off the hook.
Well, we are booked up on weekends up until sort of for the next sort of 6 weeks.
Yeah, tonight is fully booked.
Even the beautiful photos of his food dishes were fake. For example, he displayed a brownie dessert that was actually a spray-painted urinal cake and shaving cream. Another mouth-watering breakfast of eggs and ham was actually a fried egg resting on his bare foot. Butler eventually outed himself in a freelance piece with Vice UK about his culinary con artist adventure. Stock prices for gun makers have gone down because fewer Americans are afraid the government will take away their weapons. Sales and profits are dropping across the gun industry. Some manufacturers are offering discounts of up to $150, a level experts say is unsustainable. Last week, the maker of Smith & Wesson weapons, American Outdoor Brands Corporation, cut its profit target by 45%. Their stock price dropped by 12%. According to Bloomberg, the chief executive of American Outdoor said on an earnings call, there is no fear-based buying right now. Gun sales were up before last year's presidential election. Many gun buyers were concerned that Hillary Clinton would have pursued legislation to limit firearms. They don't have the same concerns about President Donald Trump. The FBI said it received requests for 200,000 background checks on Black Friday. Gun makers say it's a sign consumers are waiting for bargains. Experts say the industry's earnings slump will last several more months, if not longer.
The lights in this Minnesota neighborhood mean more than just Christmas. This elaborate holiday show was produced by Mike Justak and features 60,000 lights, one for each American diagnosed with Parkinson's disease in 2017. Justak has spent the last 8 years trying to raise awareness for the debilitating disease and calls the multi-house display PD Shimmers. The light show is synced to music, and this year Justak used Johnny Mathis, the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, Backstreet Boys, and Pentatonics. Justak was 47 years old when he was diagnosed with young-onset Parkinson's disease and credits Michael J. Fox as his inspiration to keep moving. I think Justak is now an inspiration himself. Earlier this year, when the Atlanta Falcons were ahead in the Super Bowl, Canadian pro tennis player Jeannie Bouchard made a bet with a fan. She said if the New England Patriots won, she'd take the fan, 20-year-old Missouri student John Gorky, to a New York Knicks game as her date. When the Patriots made their epic comeback, Jeannie kept up her end of the bargain. She took John to a Knicks game where the two sat courtside and shared pictures of their adventure on social media. When the date ended, Jeannie told the press there might be a second date. However, the internet hardly expected it would happen. So when Jeannie posted photos with John on Twitter recently, rumors started to buzz. In one of the images Jeannie posted, mistletoe hung between the two, leaving us to wonder if the two will be celebrating their love this holiday season. Hey Richard, what's coming up on the next show?
Kristen, we're talking about new healthcare rules. The FDA wants to make it easier for drug companies to get medical devices approved, but consumer groups say fewer regulations could mean more danger for patients. The cruise industry has been criticized by environmental advocates. One company is trying to change that. They say this will be the most sustainable cruise ship in the world, and this fourth grader wanted to tell his classmates what it's like to live with autism. The video has now gone viral. All these stories and more coming up on the next Top 30.